What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and this one I want to talk about what's going on with Tesla stock, what's going on with the numbers that just came out for Tesla. I'm also going to be talking about SPY, Nvidia, the QQQ, and Aapl later on in the video to break down the technicals. But let me first say that I'm not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. Anyways, guys, I want to talk about something very important right now. The Tesla deliveries numbers just came out, and this is very important stuff as Tesla's trying to break out of this falling wedge, is trying to push. We're going to be watching to see if Tesla could try to hold above 250 or not. So numbers came out. They just came out like a minute ago, so it's super fresh. We have about 484,000 deliveries for 2023, a little bit more than that, if anything. Not bad whatsoever. In 2023, deliveries grew 38% year over year to 1.81 million, while production grew by 35% year over year to 1.85 million. Thank you to all the employees and etc. Great job, everyone. For Q4, we have the numbers here. Under production, we have 494,000, just under 495,000 basically. The majority were from the Model 3 and the Model Ys, of course, the most popular models. Then we have the X and the S's, which had about 18,000. That's for production. For deliveries, we have about 484,500, which is slightly above expectations, but not like that massive of a beat. But quite decent, I would say. Not bad whatsoever. 461,000 of those deliveries came from the Model 3 and the Model Ys. Not bad whatsoever as well. And finally, when it comes to production, we had about 1.85 million in production. Large majority were the Model 3 and the Model Y. And for deliveries, 1.808 million deliveries. Not bad whatsoever. Congratulations, Tesla team. So we're seeing Tesla being compared to like BYD and etc., which is completely like what we would expect, of course, from the media. 1.808 million for deliveries. You could see the growth from 2,000 to 500,000 in 2020, 1.3 million in 2022, and now we're just under 2 million for 2023. Not bad whatsoever, especially given the current macroeconomic burdens on Tesla and the extra expenditures and liabilities being added because of the interest rates. This is making a lot of headlines. It hit the guidance basically, not bad whatsoever. It wasn't a massive beat, but they did technically reach expectations. Not bad for Tesla. For the whole market, guys, I just want to remind you all that at 9:45 a.m., we have the S&P Global Manufacturing PMI. 15 minutes after market open, expect some volatility. We also have construction spending at 10 a.m., 30 minutes after open. Watch for some volatility then. But most of the volatility is going to be coming 15 minutes after market open, so watch for that. For some news, the year is just starting off. The market's starting off kind of weak for the year. We're going to likely see a gap down. We'll just have to see how support holds. There's some news coming out that crude oil posted its first down year since 2020 after shredding about 10% in 2023 with potential oversupply and other issues which played big roles in that. Not to mention geopolitical risks and other factors like that, not to mention OPEC. All of those played a role in causing that. Besides that, I would say that we're going to be looking at BYD. They reported over 3 million new vehicles made in 2023. They also surpassed Tesla to some extent, but we're going to be watching to see how it goes. Also, don't forget that BYD sells both battery-powered and hybrid models. They're huge in China, of course, but I don't really like comparing them with Tesla all the time. I don't really play games like that. I just like to look at Tesla relative to its past. But the media likes to do that, so I just want to warn you about that. And besides that, there are a lot of hardships going on across the world, at least so far. My heart goes out to the people out there in Japan. A lot of people are suffering. I just want to call that out. Keep the people in Japan in your minds and your prayers if you can. But that's pretty much it. Now let's just talk about what's going on with the market. So looking at Tesla, we're getting this break from this falling wedge. So the technicals are looking a little bullish, but it's not extremely strong. It just kind of like met expectations. So we didn't smash expectations to just cause this thing to explode to 270. Didn't really do that. But we did meet them, so it's trying to break out for now. We're watching 250. It's kind of flirting around this 250 area. It keeps going. Watch for 252.5, and then above that, if it breaks, we could get close to 256. If we fail to break 250, because we're kind of just trading sideways around it for now, watch 247.5 as support. Then we have 244 coming next. I want to call out that although Tesla's trying to break out to 250, the market's kind of weak, which is slowing it down a bit. It's kind of anchoring Tesla down. So we could see kind of like a pump and drop as time goes on. But for now, just watch how it reacts to 250. It's kind of just trading sideways around there. We'll be looking very carefully. When it comes to SPY, okay, SPY is also in a very, very different boat. Now, let me just show you this. So I was talking about this rising wedge. You guys can see this very carefully, a nice rising wedge. And I told you we're looking bearish from this breakout. We made a lower high right here, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. We got this big drop down to 472 this morning. We're just barely holding 472. We're looking kind of weak on SPY, barely holding support. There's a big gap down that's forming. The 4 hour is turning a little bit weak if we end up breaking below this. So we look kind of bearish, guys. Watch this very carefully. For resistance, make sure you're watching 472.5, and then above that we have 473 flats. And then for support, watch 472. If we lose 472, there's not much support left. I mean, we could see it could just touch the 470s, basically around this 470 range, which is where we have this tight support. If we lose 470, it's going to be sinking all the way down to 468. That's going to be our very important support as well. I know this chart's kind of misleading because I think 468 is actually more important than 470. But just for reference, and just because this is closer, I just want to call out these levels. So make sure you watch these supports. Don't forget we have 471.6 actually here as support, and then we have 470 below that. 472, then 471.6. Watch those levels carefully. We're looking kind of bearish. If we lose that, 470 could be coming. It is looking kind of weak on SPY. It favors the bears a bit more. QQQ as well is barely holding support, so watch this carefully. 405, it just barely held up. We're watching resistance at 405.7. If that breaks, our next target is going to be 406.5. Then we have 408 above that. So watch and see if we end up losing support around this 405 area. If we lose that, our next target is going to be around this 404.5 area. So right about here. We also have this gap below to fill if we end up losing 404. So 404 to 404.5-ish is going to be our support. If we lose the 404s, 402 is next. For resistance, watch 405.7. If that breaks, our next target is going to be once again the levels I called out. So QQQ looks kind of weak right now. It's just barely holding. Watch for a 405 test. As of right now, the bears have the edge. On Nvidia stock, Nvidia is looking a little bearish, just a little bit, not that bad. When you zoom out, I know this is a little messy, guys. I do apologize for that, but see the blue line, this blue trend line. I know it's a little hard to see, but this blue trend line was acting as support for Nvidia. Touched this and bounced. We're kind of flirting with that line again. You guys can see it right here. This is a key support for Nvidia, that blue trend line of support. So I'm going to be watching to see if Nvidia holds this. Right now, we have resistance right over here. This is previous support becoming resistance now at this 493.34 area. Then we have 495 above that. If we break this, 498 is on the cards for resistance, which I'm not really seeing right now since we're looking bearish. For support, watch 490. If that fails us, there's 488 and also the blue trend line. We're kind of touching this blue trend line, trying to bounce off it. But if we lose it, we're going to turn even more bearish. And we could be making our way down below 488. If we lose 488, we're going to turn bearish, guys. So watch that as a very important support for Nvidia. If we lose that, our next target is 485. Right now, it looks like it's kind of like flirting with this line. It might just go back and forth and back and forth. It might just trade sideways in the 490s for now, but if we lose this, we're going to turn bearish. That's going to be your bearish confirmation. We had a rising wedge and we're breaking down. I did warn you guys about Nvidia, so just be very careful and watch and see if we lose 488. If we lose that, we can turn even more bearish, and the much lower 480s are possible. But that's it for Nvidia. Make sure you watch those levels. Apple's looking very weak. I was saying that if you look at Aapl, we're going to be watching to see how it holds. I thought it would try to hold above 190, if anything, and just kind of trade sideways for now, but it actually lost 190, and now it's sinking back down to support right here at 188. So it's even more bearish than how it was looking yesterday. It had a nice head and shoulders setup, nice break from this wedge. It attempted to break it and it failed. Watching 188 as support, watch 189.3 as resistance, 190 and 191 as resistance. For support, watch 188. If that fails us, our next target is going to be 186.5-ish, all the way down here if we lose 188. And if we lose 186.5, watch 185. Apple is just kind of trading sideways at the 188. A little bit weak looking, so I could see it sink down more. Downside is definitely imminent, so watch it very carefully and make sure you're very careful when it comes to these levels. It looks bearish, guys. Most stocks look bearish. That is slowing Tesla down a bit, but we'll be watching to see how Tesla reacts when we open with all this data coming out. All right, guys, have a great day. Thank you all so much for listening. Remain calm, cool, and collected. I'll see you guys very soon on the next one. Thank you and peace out.